We go to the board. It's brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
All right, let's make it more by talking about what I thought was the most difficult game of the week.
Okay.
Shall we? Atlanta is now a 1-point favorite over the Packers. This opened Pack minus 1.5. Atlanta taking money. I was on Atlanta last week. I watched a lot of the game. Desmond Ridder stinks. That's my grand takeaway. Ridder stinks. But here's the problem. The arty party, the ground game, that's still legit. Bijan Robinson is that dude. Algiers still playing a big role.
Goal line.
What's Packers' weakness?
You tell me.
Stopping the run.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I wanted to bet the Pack here, I am going to stay away from this game. I am not going to bet this short road favorite or now short road dog. I'm going to let this play out. I feel like I need a better read on both these teams. Now, I love the Pack last week. That was a easy game. They killed the Bears. This is one I am going to stay away. I was impressed by Jordan Love. I think you're getting the better quarterback here, Love versus Ridder. But I need to see the Pack go on the road back-to-back weeks. And can they bow up against Atlanta where Arthur Smith and that ground scheme, they go at you?
I wrote insert Jordan Love conversation here.
Yeah.
And it's probably too early because I don't think very highly of the Bears defense. But Love looked good. Red zone, third down, spreading the ball around. Yeah, I think the Packers are the better team here. But back-to-back road games against running teams. And Atlanta, they were a cover machine early in the season last year. So, yeah, this was a Falcons or pass. And the number moving the other way, this would be the wrong time for me to dive in.
There's just games I like better.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. I think Atlanta's going to be one of the most frustrating teams of the season because everything's in place. Jesse Bates, who they paid a ton of money for from Cincinnati, had a huge game for them at safety.
That was a big ad.
Defense will get better.
Calais Campbell, yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. I want it to work. Like, I don't want to root against Ridder. He sucks. That was awful in week one. At one point, he was 7 for 8 for a grand total of 7 yards.
What do you make of this tension that Arthur Smith has? I'm not going to say against fantasy football players because who cares? But the point is, when are you going to get Pitts more involved? When are you going to get Drake London more involved? He's like, well, we don't worry about fantasy football. You shouldn't, but you should have a game plan that gets your two best pass catchers the ball more frequently.
I think there's absolutely a relation here between your best players being involved and you winning. Now, congrats. You beat Bryce Young in week one. Bryce Young was not terrible. More on that later. He just made 2 terrible mistakes. He's a rookie. I got to wait and see on this game.
I think Atlanta wins it, but I'm not playing it.
Okay. Go to the next.
The next game, Lions, minus 4.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. It's the delivery of the week. It's brought to you by Hungry Howie's Flavor Crust Pizza, the official pizza of Cash the Ticket. This one stands out. This is like a garlic herb. I mean, you can just, you know what I'm saying? Like the signature scent. I would go with the Lions in this game, but I think we need to have a conversation about what we're doing here. This is a letdown spot for most teams off an emotional win against Kansas City.
Right.
This is also right around that Devils number, sat 5.5 for most of the week. I think you and I are both going to play Lions, but do we at least need to acknowledge we're going against 2 pretty strong trends?
We are, but I look, there's also an element. We're closer to the Lions than most people. Seattle is signing people off the street to play offensive line. A disastrous week one, beyond their performance of 2 yards in the second half total. They lose both starting tackles. They're bringing in Jason Peters off the couch.
41 years old.
And it's no secret, I'm very high on the Lions. I had them week one. I thought they'd beat Kansas City. They did. This is going to be arguably the greatest home field advantage in the entire National Football League this week.
Ski masks on.
The Ford Field, the prices to go to this game, the Ford Field, the inside factor. Jim, I just have such a problem with the Seattle angle here. They're coming across the country. Geno Smith looked absolutely horrific. Lions defense is better. You're going on the road without your starting tackles. Crazy home environment. And the Lions have had 10 days to kick back and rest. Now, again, Taylor Decker is banged up. We'll see what happens there. Their left tackle. But overall, the Lions are the better football team. I've believed it all summer. And this is a spot off that Thursday night game, 10 days rest, coming home. I don't think it's a letdown. I don't think Dan Campbell will let it be a letdown.
That's the biggest thing. So last year they finished strong and the offseason hype machine roared. And what did you hear from inside that locker room and from the coach? We haven't done anything yet.
That's right.
We didn't make the playoffs a year ago. I don't think this is a letdown spot because this team feels measured and they lost to Seattle each of the last 2 seasons.
Correct.
So this isn't one of those, we take them lightly. Look how great we are. We beat Kansas City. They didn't play a great game against the Chiefs. I would say it was a C-plus football game last Thursday night. So they got stuff to clean up against a team they're motivated to beat, and the crowd's going to lift this team up if there are any lulls.
Yeah, I'm betting the Lions.
This is a Lions play.
Yeah, I'm playing them.
And by the way, I think there's a stat like Seattle, poor finish at the end of last year, poor start week 1 of this year. They might just not be very good.
Maybe they caught lightning in a bottle with Geno Smith, and now he's regressing to be Geno Smith. We'll see. But I again, numbers a bit inflated, but I think there's a chance the Lions put it on them. I'm betting the Lions.
Could you see like a 27-20? You win by a touchdown.
Don't sell how easy it is to cover the 4.5. That works on paper. You and I both know that's not how this game works.
Okay.
Don't sell it.
We are betting the Lions. That is our first play. Second play, Bengals -3 against the Ravens. This is an easy Cincy spot for me.
Yeah, home divisional dog, bounce back spot. Bengals can't be as bad as they were last week. All of America bet the Bengals. Only the brave like myself bet the Browns.
Me too.
It's I bet like us bet the Browns. Lay to 3. That's it. That's all. Now I'm not laying 3.5, but it's -3.
Correct.
I take the Bengals.
Yeah.
Again, Baltimore had the advantage of playing a rookie on the road, making his debut. We talked about it. Rookie quarterbacks against the number, not good. For me, this is a Cincy bounce back spot, and I don't think you can understate it. The loss of J.K. Dobbins, while in that game, it didn't hurt him a lot. Not having him, I think, greatly affects what Baltimore does and the pressure. When Houston was getting pressure, did you notice how much Lamar struggled when he wasn't allowed to stand back there all day? You're going to go on the road. Bengals know they got to have it. Bounce back spot for Joe Cool. I'm taking the Bengals.
Couple easy mismatches. One, not just the Dobbins injury, but 2 offensive linemen dealing with injuries up front for Baltimore, the center and the left tackle Stanley. That's a problem. Bigger problem, 2 players in the secondary for Baltimore, Marcus Williams, Marlon Humphrey, and you're going up against Burrow, Chase, Higgins. Those are 2 big matchup advantages.
Higgins, they got to get going. 8 targets, no catches. That was a disaster last week.
But this is a classic bounce back. Don't overreact.
And a home divisional dog.
Yeah.
Or no, not a dog.
No, they're
not
the
a
favorites.
Dog. Not a dog. They're favored, and I'd like to recant. Apologies. I got excited. But I do like the Bengals, and I'm gonna lay the 3 points.
Okay. We got 2 plays early. We're both playing Cincy. Bucks, Bears. Tampa -2.5. You got a side? Got a lean?
No, it would be a lean to the Bucks. Look, I nerded out and I watched a few film studies on Justin Fields this week.
Oh, with the clicker. You're sitting there going back and forth.
No, they were already cut up, and it was a few people breaking down his performance. I mean, there are some really scary things in here where on multiple plays you have multiple people open, and Fields doesn't pull the trigger, and it's just like, Justin, are you seeing this? Are you processing this? And I mean, there was one where you had a deep hook, 15 yards down the field, directly in front of him. It's there. You got to cut it loose. Look, you have fabulous talent. He's an exciting player. But I told you I wasn't as high on the Bears as most people. Had the pack last week. I got to see it from Justin Fields. I got to understand it. Now, again, the Bucs secondary gave up 300 some odd yards last week to the Commanders. Not the Commanders, excuse me, to the Vikings. There's an opportunity here for the Bears to move the football. The problem is, I don't understand how the Bears spent their money. You don't have a good defensive line, and you're paying off-ball linebackers a ton of money. Huh? And their secondary stinks. And you know that's what the Bucs want to attack. It's a lean to the Bucs. I just like other stuff better, so I'm staying away.
Couple things. Pressure. The Bears don't send it, don't get a ton of it. That helps an average, below average quarterback,
it's a great
Baker.
recipe, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's great for Baker, though, who's not very good, but if they're not going to pressure you, it's going to make his life a little easier. Yeah. He still has Evans and Godwin. And then the other side of the coin is Bowles likes to dial up the pressure. And for Fields, who already holds the ball too long, the right game plan might be some dinks and dunks and screens, but I think the big storyline out of last week is he did too much of it. So now is that in his head? Is he going to force it down the field? He gets hit, he turns it over.
When Justin Fields gets pressured, He has the highest sack rate in the entire NFL. 33% of the time, when he's pressured, he goes down. So for all of the elusive athleticism, he's a runner, people sack him at a higher rate than anyone else when pressured. So I can't possibly take the Bears here, and I just like other things better than the Bucs.
Yeah, it's a lean Bucs, but for the sake of not betting every game on the board.
Oh, that's correct.
We'll go to the next one. Bills -8.5, bounce back spot against the Raiders.
It was the last game off my board. I actually wanted to bet the Bills, and then I slapped myself in the face like the team trainer slapping John Henderson in that old Jags video. You can't lay 8 points in this league. I'm not taking the Raiders and McDaniels on the road, but this is a Bills get-right spot. All week, Josh Allen's been in the crosshairs. He should be. 4 turnovers, sloppy performance. I mean, the Bills allowing the Jets to go on a drive late to tie the game. It would be Bills or pass, and I'm going to pass because I really do like the games I've selected, but it would be the Bills to me. Coming home, get-right spot.
Raiders secondary not very good. Ideal matchup if you're Josh Allen and you need a big day, 4 touchdowns. It's possible. This is one of those, if he's in your fantasy league, you're thrilled with this matchup.
Yeah.
But I'm not betting it.
No, pass.
Chargers -3 at the Titans. Okay, last week I got talked out of Vrabel as a dog. And by the way, man loves gamblers. Kicking a field goal down 4 to help cover the spread.
Wasn't that amazing?
Beautiful.
No, not beautiful. It was absurd. Absurd.
He's great as a dog, and now he's a home dog, a full 3 points. Eckler is injured. The other side has Brandon Staley. Do I make up for last week and bet the Titans here, or am I missing something?
You're not missing anything, but Tannehill was awful. Awful. This is arguably the biggest QB disparity on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert versus whatever's left of Ryan Tannehill.
3 picks last week.
My God. The other problem I have, the Chargers as a favorite, go to hell.
On the road, too.
Evan knows why I'm upset. The Chargers killed me. Brandon Staley's a crook. He's stealing money. Fuck this team as a favorite. It's the home dog is grotesque. The road favorite can't be trusted as far as you could throw him. Cookies, if you love it, it's Vrabel or pass. I really wouldn't touch this game.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
You should be.
Tannehill gets pressure from Mack and Bosa. Don't want to overreact to the Chargers giving up big plays to Tyreek Hill because he doesn't play for the Titans.
Where was Khalil Mack? Where was Joey Bosa?
But I don't want to overreact.
But there was no Teron Armstead.
I know. But if those guys don't show up in week 2, now it's a trend. I don't want to say those guys are washed, walk into a buzzsaw, and I bet Tannehill, and I'm not getting north of 3. 3's probably not enough. I'll pass on the game.
Okay.